Good afternoon, participants. So I welcome you all to the 5 days Dell Online FDP on multi-objective optimization, product innovation to rise. And we are in the third day and session 9. Title is Introduction and Essence of Stress. So here, so Dr. Jagadishwaran sir, yes, he is going to handle the session. And about the resource person, Dr. Jagadishwaran, yes, he is a professor and head the Department of Automatical Engineering and so working in Bonar Institute of Technology, Satyamangalam, and SAR's area of interest is phase changer heat transfer, thermal energy storage system, CFD, nanoengineering materials, and optimization. So SAR has completed his PhD in energy engineering in BITS Pilani in the year 2012, and he has 25 years experience in academic and research domain. And SAR has published 35 research articles in international journals, and he has presented 15 research articles in international and national conferences. Also, Sir published one patent, and he has received the grants from SERB and the AICT IST. So, under his guidance, 8 scholars are currently doing the research in the thermal energy storage systems. So, Sir has delivered many guest lectures and webinars in the topics of optimization and thermal energy storage systems. So, with this introduction, on behalf of Sri Shanmo College of Engineering and Technology and Atal Academy, and also on behalf of beloved participants, I welcome Dr. Jagadeshwaran S. Sir to handle this session.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Prabhu. Dr. Saravanan, Principal of Shanmuga Engineering College, and Dr. Prabhu, organizer of this FTP, and all the participants. First of all, a very good afternoon to every one of you. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Saravanan, Principal of Shanmuga Engineering College, and Dr. Prabhu, the organizer of this FDP, for inviting me to share my experience with all the participants. And also I thank AICD for organizing or for funding such programs which will help in updating the expertise and competency of engineering institutions faculty members. And in fact, at BIT, we are also very optimistic, and we support the initiatives of AICT by organizing so many programs. And I congratulate Shanmuga Engineering College for getting funding support from AICT to organize FTP. I hope this program, the 5 days program, will help in getting a good amount of information and the knowledge which will help you in your long career. With this introduction note, let me start my session. And before I presenting the contents, I would like to play a simple audio which will help you to understand the remaining part of the session. In fact, that audio is a general one, and I hope all the participants can follow Tamil, because that audio will play in Tamil language. If you are unable to follow, kindly bear with me. Anyway, at the end of that audio, I will explain what are the contents that is related to our topic. So anyway, we are going to talk about the TRIZ, and the audio gives some essence in the sense that gives some kind of introduction which you can follow easily. So with this, let me play that audio. Could you hear that audio?
No, sir.
Okay. Just a minute.
இதுவரைக்கும் நீ பாராட்டினார்கள். மேலும் அவர்களுடைய படத்துல சிட்டுக்குருவி என்ற படத்தில் இதுவரைக்கும் நீ பண்ணாத முறையில், யாருமே செய்யாத முறையில் ஒரு பாடல் எனக்கு செய்து கொடுக்க வேண்டும், ஒரு காதல் டுவெட் செய்து கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று கேட்டார்கள் என்னிடம். கேட்டுக்கொண்ட நேரத்தில் இதுவரைக்கும் செய்யாத முறையில் எப்படி செய்வது, யாரும் செய்யாத முறையில் எப்படி செய்ய முடியும் என்று கொஞ்ச நேரம் என் சிந்தனையை ஓடவிட்டேன். ஒரு 2-3 நாட்கள் ஆகிவிட்டது. ரொம்ப நாட்களுக்கு முன்னதாகவே எனக்கு இந்த வெஸ்டர்ன் மியூசிக்கில் இருக்கக்கூடிய கவுண்டர் பாயிண்ட் என்ற சப்ஜெக்டை உபயோகித்து ஒரு பாடல் செய்தால் என்ன என்று அதில் ஒரு சிறு விஷயமாக அந்த காற்றிலே வரும் கீதம் என்ற படத்தில் ஒரே லைன், இட்ஸ் கால் கவுண்டர் பாயிண்ட் இமிடேஷன், ஒரு லைனை போலவே சூப்பர் இம்போஸ் என்ற முறையில் ஒலிப்பதிவு செய்கிறேன். அதே முறையை பயன்படுத்தி ஒரே வார்த்தை மட்டும்தான் உபயோகித்திருக்கும். இதில் ஒரே வாய்ஸை வைத்து 2 வெவ்வேறு விதமான வார்த்தைகளை கொண்டு ஃபுல் பல்லவி முழுக்க அந்த மாதிரி இசையமைத்தார் என்ற என்ன என்று எனக்கு ஒரு எண்ணம் தோன்றியது. அதை வைத்து கவுண்டர் பாயிண்ட் என்று சொன்னால் வெஸ்டர்ன் மியூசிக் கொஞ்சம் அவங்களுக்கு போர் அடிக்கலாம், இருந்தாலும் இது டெக்னிக்கலா இருக்கிறதுனால இந்த விஷயம் ஜனங்களுக்கு சுவையான விஷயம், ஜனங்களுக்கு சொல்ல வேண்டும் என்று நினைக்கிறேன். கவுண்டர் பாயிண்ட் என்று சொன்னால் மெலடி, ஒரு மெலடி எகென்ஸ்ட் மெலடி, 2 மெலடி ஒரே நேரத்துல பிளே பண்றதுதான் கவுண்டர் பாயிண்ட். ஒரு வாய்ஸ் போயிட்டு இருக்குன்னு வச்சுங்க, அது என்ன ஃப்ரேஸ் சொல்லுதோ அதுக்கு ஆன்சர் மாதிரி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வாய்ஸ் கொஸ்டின் வச்சுட்டா செகண்ட் வாய்ஸ் ஆன்சர். பாடல்களிலே பாடகர் பாடும் பொழுது வயலின் கோரஸாக வேறொரு கவுண்டர் மியூசிக் என்று சொல்வார்கள், அதை குறிப்பிடுகின்றேன். அதுதான் கவுண்டர் பாயிண்ட். இந்த முறையை பயன்படுத்தி இதில் என்னவென்றால் ஒரு மெலடி தனியாக எடுத்து பார்த்தால் அதுக்கு ஒரு கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக் இருக்கும். அதே போல் செகண்ட் இன்னொரு மெலடியையும் தனியாக எடுத்து பார்த்தால் அதற்கு ஒரு கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக், 2 வெவ்வேறு விதமான பாவங்களை கொண்டதாக இருக்க வேண்டும். இரண்டும் சேர்த்து கேட்கும் பொழுது அதற்கு ஒரு கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக் இருக்க வேண்டும். இதுதான் முக்கியமான விஷயம். அந்த முறையை பயன்படுத்தி பாடல்கள் அப்ளை செய்து பார்த்தால் என்ன என்று எனக்கு ஒரு ஆர்வம். இதை பயன்படுத்தி
Okay, I hope that all could follow that audio. You might be surprised why such kind of audio was played. And for the others, I think that the interview was given by the popular music composer, Mr. Ilayaraja. He was talking about one technique which he implemented in one of the songs in his earlier days to get a new kind of taste in the cine music. So why did I play this? What was the message I wanted to convey? Can you guess? Anybody? See, what he was telling when he was demanded to introduce a new thing in the film music, in a song. He was shocked in the sense he didn't have answer in the beginning. Then later on he realized that to implement or to execute, to employ a technique which is already in place in other parts of the world. So he was talking about the Western music technique called counterpoint, by superimposing 2 kinds of same thing, same 2 voices, same voice, in two lines and superimposing both the things, which would give a different kind of taste. So what actually I would like to tell you, he didn't try to invent a new thing, because the music is music has got many things. People have already explored many, and they have used many techniques and many kind of composition. Everything has been in place. So what he did actually, instead of trying to find a new one, completely new one, which is unknown to anybody, he tried to implement the technique which is already in place, and to a certain extent he modified or customized, so that that directly matches with the film songs. That's what he did. So what I would like to tell you here, even in any kind of engineering problem, instead of trying to find a completely new solution and completely inventive kind of things, you can try to adopt a thing which is already used at other places, maybe for a different purpose. Yeah, then you can try to bring in to solve your problem. This is what TRIZ is all about. That this message everybody should be aware. That's all. So all other things will be very easy to understand. So TRIZ is talking about the same. You can bring something which is already in place somewhere. It may be at any place. It may not be directly related to your field. It may not be directly related to your problem. It may be something else. You have to bring in to suit your problem, so you can easily find the solution. Otherwise, what will happen, whenever you are given a responsibility of finding a solution to a very complex problem, what we normally think, we try to find a kind of innovative solution, and without any guidelines. We try to bring so many ideas, and we have to interact with many peoples, and people may have a different kind of ideas, and at some stage we will get very confused. And in fact, not only that, it will waste a lot of time, because without any guidance we simply try to find a solution. That's all. So if you have a structured procedure to find out a solution, then it will be very easy, and you can find out within no time. So TRIZ is talking about that only. Okay, so I think this must be very clear. So this introduction should be very important to understand what is TRIZ is all about. So all other things can be easily understood. Okay, I think if you have any kind of issues or any clarity you need at this point, before we start, you can get clarified. So let it be very informal, so that we can have a better understanding at the end of the program. Is it okay, Dr. Prabhu? Okay, so let me start with my presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
That accelerate your creative thinking.
Yeah, yes, sir. It's visible,
Okay,
sir.
okay, thank you. So that's what the topic of this session: accelerate your creative thinking. In fact, that's what that will give you the introduction and the essence of TRIZ. In fact, TRIZ is for accelerating your creative thinking. That's what you need to understand. It will accelerate your creative thinking. That, see, if you are given a responsibility of finding a solution to your problem, then you should be able to find out in quick time. That's what the expectation in from whether it's from industry or any academic point of view. Okay, right. So let us go through some examples. How idea can be brought from somewhere else. Okay, if you look at this picture, this is nothing but the axle and the wheels of a railway wagon, right? Now let us first of all let us understand what is the problem of this kind of arrangement. See, because all you are all engineering people, you have some idea about the automobile differential, which is normally fitted at the drive axle of automobile, maybe at the rear axle, because in between the two wheels at the middle of the axle you have the differential arrangement. And if you don't have any idea, let me just give the glimpse of that. The differential is actually used to change the speed of the inner and outer wheels, to give two different speeds to inner and outer wheels while taking the turn. Otherwise, what will happen, while any automobile, while taking a turn, inner wheel has to rotate at a slow speed, because it has to cover less distance as compared to the outer wheel. So outer wheel obviously runs at faster speed. But the power from the engine remains same to both the wheels. So while transmitting the power to inner and outer wheel while taking the turn, what differential will do, it will automatically adjust while taking the turn, so that less amount of power goes to inner wheel and more power to outer wheel, so that the different speeds can be achieved. So inner wheel rotates at slow speed and outer wheel at faster speed. But at the same time, whenever the vehicle goes straight on a straight line, then both the wheels rotate at the same speed, because both the wheels cover the same distance. So this is what the function of a differential, and it is easily achieved with the help of the differential. It's very good engineering system. Okay, now, but when it comes to railway, we don't have such kind of arrangement. If you see, the axles are very plain. We don't have any differential arrangement in between. But still, we have to achieve that different speed while taking that, because the train also has to take a turn. So that time, if both the wheels rotate at the same speed, then you can understand, or we can imagine what would be the situation. Okay, so differential is not there, but you have to achieve that. Inner wheel has to rotate at the slow speed and outer wheel at a faster speed. This is what the problem. How it is done, that we will see. Now, this is another example. Again, it is related to automobile. This also everybody is very much aware. It's airbag. So what is the function of airbag? Whenever there is an impact, then the bag will expand and then it will protect the driver. For that, they will use a nitrogen gas. Whenever there is a kind of impact, then within a fraction of second, in a very quick time, the gas expands and then it will inflate the balloon, so that will protect the driver. But what will happen whenever a gas expands? A sudden expansion of any gas leads to a reduction in the temperature. That everybody is a very simple physics. Anything expands at a very faster rate, because as quick as possible the gas has to expand. Then only the balloon will inflate. So at the point. I think I request all the participants to mute their system. Okay, and just please hold on. Okay. So that whenever expansion takes place, then in the surrounding area, there will be a reduction in the temperature. And if the temperature reduces, the balloon material will become brittle, because at a very low, because it will be very, very low temperature. So at a very low temperature, such kind of material will become very brittle. So the balloon will be of no use. So this is what will happen if you don't have any any kind of arrangement for that to counterattack that. So what is the solution for this? Let us come back. Okay. So this is what the problem with this arrangement. And this again, it's aeroplane. In a conventional arrangement, if you have a normal tip, then there will be a kind of turbulence. Let us not go into depth of all the technical issues. Because of that, because always there will be a pressure difference between the upper and lower region. So you will have turbulence. So that will affect the aeroplane. Okay. And this is another one. So the normal, what do you say, the high voltage line, electric for to carry the transmission line, you can say simply. In Western countries, especially when the climate is very low, what will happen? Ice will be formed. When ice is formed, then it will affect the functioning of this one. So it cannot properly transmit. Maybe too much loss will be there, or otherwise the heat transfer and all those things will get affected. So many problems will occur, and it will not work properly. You can understand that much. So this is the problem. And when you look at this arrangement, this is a bridge. Normally, what will happen? If you have a kind of base, such kind of arrangement, then whenever there is a low temperature, because it very frequently it happens at in Western countries. If the water freezes, then it will form ice, and then it will have a huge impact at the base of the bridge. So that will be very huge. So it will lead to the collapse of the bridge. So this is a problem. So how these problems could be solved, or how the people have solved this problem? So this is what the problem given to you. How will you solve? You have to go on thinking. Okay. But that is not expert. You can think, and anyway, at one stage, with the help of your expertise and your knowledge, your all engineering knowledge will help you to come out with some kind of solution. Definitely, there is no doubt about it. People have come out with very innovative solutions to many complex problems. So that is how our world is running. So there is no doubt about it. But as an engineer working in a industry, and or any other organization, even an educational institution also, if you are given a job, and you cannot be given unlimited time for that, you have to bring a proper solution to the problem as quick as possible. That's what important. So that is where the acceleration, that fast thinking will be very important. Fast thinking may not be possible with all. It may take time, because you start thinking randomly. Normally that is what happens. You start thinking randomly, whether or you go on with the kind of a trial and error method. And at some stage, maybe if you are lucky, then you may get within 1 or 2 trials. Otherwise, what will happen? Even after so many number of trials, you may not be able to come out with a proper solution to that. So that will waste a lot of time, and it will affect the productivity. So you have to have some guideline for that. If this is the problem, can I approach this problem by using this particular method? This is what we need. That is what this is talking about. Okay. So let us go back to the first problem. So this problem, how did they solve? Very simple. They took inspiration from other arrangement, as we heard in that audio. That composer took inspiration from a technique or any kind of arrangement in other part, and he just simply employed that and adapted and modified to suit his requirement. That's all. That's what he did. So here you see this. This is actually a different arrangement used for a different purpose. This is called the variable transmission arrangement. If you look at this, both the rods having a variable diameter from one end to another end. So if you engage these two at two different, at any location, so accordingly the speed will vary. Accordingly, you will get the different ratio. You know what is gear ratio. So instead of using gear, they are using a variable diameter device, device. So you can engage these two at any location. So depending on the location, you may get a different speed. So this is what called the variable transmission arrangement, variable ratio transmission. Okay. So this arrangement, this technique can be used in railway track. Rail wheels. See here. So that's why what they did. The wheels are having a cone kind of arrangement. The surface instead of having a plain surface, a uniform diameter surface, here it's a variable diameter size. So on the whenever it takes turn, what will happen depending on the turn? Suppose let us say it takes left turn. So the left wheel will become inner wheel and right will become outer wheel. So automatically what will happen? This left wheel will have that edge in contact with the track or rail, whatever it is. Outer wheel will have the larger diameter because it's a conical arrangement. So outer wheel, the inner part will become the contact point. So what will happen? Two different ratio. It has become now smaller wheel. This has become larger wheel. So the speed will get adjusted. So depending on the amount of turn, different ratios are possible. So inner wheel will rotate at another one speed and outer wheel, because both are connected together. So definitely one has to adjust itself. But because one has become smaller, another has become larger wheel. Obviously, okay. But when it goes straight, both will be of equal diameter. This was the arrangement. So they took inspiration from the other technique and they adopted here. Okay. In the all examples, the same thing. Here for balloon, this airbag, they use a similar arrangement. Okay. Instead of using a single tube, they use two different tubes attached together. What is the purpose? It's too technical. Maybe people might have come from a different different disciplines, but still, it's all simple physics. So I hope that you can understand. So here, Venturi effect is adopted. What is Venturi effect here? When you supply high pressure air, and at the tip, you will have kind of a Venturi, low pressure will be created. So when low pressure is created, automatically what will happen? It will suck the paint. This is just what you say, the spray gun to spray something. So when you pressurize, what will happen? At the tip, you will have a low pressure. The low pressure will bring or will suck the liquid. For instance, here it is the paint. So that will be sprayed. Okay. So when the air comes fast, and then that will spray the paint. So such arrangement is adopted here. So what is done here? So that arrangement is, let us say it is kept here. When the balloon expands, low pressure is created. So when the low pressure is created, at that region, we are attaching another tube which is exposed to atmosphere. So what will happen? The moment the low pressure is created, atmospheric air can be sucked in. So when the atmospheric air is sucked in, then the low pressure is nullified. So the effect of low pressure on the balloon material will get nullified. That's all. So that Venturi effect is used here. So they have brought a solution from the already available technique. Here also, in order to reduce that turbulent effect, they took inspiration from the nature. So the bird, it's a very closely taken photo. When this kind of bird flies at a very higher altitude, what happens? You look at the wings. The wings will move up. And depending on the height and the speed, the quantity of lifting will vary. So this is the inspiration. So the same thing. This actually the bird naturally this is existing. so that the turbulent effect can be nullified. The same thing can be adopted in the aeroplane. So if you look at that while flying, that the tip of that aeroplane blades, or the aeroplane blades will, the wings will slightly or will move up. So that is to uh, nullify the turbulent effect. So there won't be any turbulence. Okay. So that the effect which is created due to the pressure difference that can be countered here. That's what done. So in fact, people normally say the flight itself is the invention due to the inspiration from the bird. So everything is like that only. So for this also, what we can do, the induction heating. This is called induction heating. This principle can be used. So when the induction heating is applied here, by using the same electric current which is passing through, you can keep that the entire system hot, so that the whatever maybe the ice formed, that can be melted easily. So the formation of ice can be overcome easily. Okay. So and for bridge also, the base, what is done, they took the inspiration from the ship. This is nothing but the icebreaker. So if you see, if you look at that, the portion, the front portion of that icebreaker, they have a kind of arrangement, dome shaped arrangement, so that will maneuvering. And they, because this icebreaker means whenever they sail over the sail over and at extreme climate, and the seawater may be in ice form, so the ship cannot move normally. So that normal ships cannot move, in fact. So such kind of ship have kind of arrangement at the base, so that it can easily break the ice, so it can flow, because ice is formed only at the top layers. So once that is broken, then ship can easily sail over. So the same kind of arrangement is used here. So the ice cannot be formed. The base is slightly broader, and it can, in fact, it's not to break the ice, but what will happen, whatever may be the impact which is exerted by the ice can be absorbed by the base. So in such places, you have such kind of bridges only. So if any impact, even if water flows at high velocity, in such arrangements, so in such regions also, it is better to have such bridges, so the base can be very broad, so that the force exerted by the ice or the high velocity water can be taken care. So the bridge, ultimately the bridge will not get affected. Okay. So it's taken from some other this one. So overall, you look at all the examples, whatever may be the problem they had, they could solve with the help of the technique which is already in place. It means they took inspiration from the other techniques, and they have successfully implemented here. Okay. So this is what the basic one has to understand. You no need to you can try to invent something. You can have a very innovative solution, no problem, but where is the time? Okay. Where is the time? You may not have time. Just to hold on, let me put the charger. Just 1 minute, please. Okay, thank you very much. Right. So the idea is here we have to take inspiration from the other place where some technique is used, and that can be used to suit our requirement. But again, that is not so easy to, because if we have a problem to solve, um, and anyway we are ready to adopt something which is available already, but from where again you need to or you will be forced to think randomly, whether this from this technique or from that technique, from the technique C or technique D, and so on and so forth. There is no end for that, because there are so many things around us. From where we have to take? So that is where TRIZ is helpful. TRIZ has got some guidelines for that. So by going one by one can easily find solution without wasting much time. Anyway, you need to have some kind of thinking, but that the TRIZ will help you if you follow the procedure proposed by TRIZ. That will help you to bring the solution very quick time. In fact, that is practically proved. And see what TRIZ has done. We will go through that. Sorry. Oh, coming. So, what is the essence here? What is actually what we have understood from all those examples and the other things already have given something. Somebody, sometime, somewhere has already solved your problem. This is very, very important. Your problem is not unique. Your problem is not the first time it has arisen. No, somebody, somewhere, sometime. Definitely they have solved, but maybe for a different kind of purpose and a different kind of scenario, or if not exactly, it definitely similar to yours. There must be a solution for a solution to your problem. Definitely. Okay. So creativity means, see, please understand, creativity means not 100% completely new. What they have, what they are telling. Creativity means finding the solution and adapting it to the current problem. That's all. It's not like that. It's a completely new. Nobody has touched upon. Nowhere you can find. There is no such thing. Even if people have not done it, definitely it is there in the nature. At least it is there. Every solution is already there. Only thing is, what is creativity? Then what is your role? You have to identify the right one. From where, for my problem, from where I can get the solution. Take it, use it. That's all. Change it, because anyway, the scenario may not be exactly same. Okay, as I said, it may be similar to that, but not exactly same. So we have to make some kind of tuning and use it. That's all. Okay, listen. So for that you need guidelines again. So is the person who has proposed this. Okay, theory of inventive problem solving. Okay, that's what is expansion. It's actually a Russian scientist. I has given Russian the terminology in Russian language, and if you translate, it means theory of inventive problem solution. Okay, not exactly that it gives a TRIZ, but it is directly taken from the Russian language. Okay, right. So theory of inventive problem solving. You have to understand. That's the meaning. So what is that? TRIZ is a problem solving method that accelerates the project team's ability to solve the risk creating problems. It will accelerate. It will help you to find a solution in quick time for any kind of a complex problem. Okay. So what you have to do for that? what is the primary thing one has to keep in mind while using TRIZ? Okay, so as I said, it's not just enough to know using TRIZ. Using TRIZ, okay, you can understand the principle, or you can understand the way or the procedure proposed by the TRIZ. That's okay. That's anybody can easily understand. But what is important? You have to understand your problem in a proper way. What is that? You have to look at each and every point of your problem, right? That means we will see with example. So it may be the sentence may lead to some confusion. So let us understand the same with the help of example. Take this. What we say, super system. First, we should be able to recognize the problem with the help of the system or other things. So we'll see. Super system means, suppose this is an automobile, it's a car. You may have a problem at some point. Let us not talk about that initially. But whatever it is, it belongs to car. So first you need to understand what is a super system. Super system is the car is a super system, the major one. So that you need to first keep it. So that what it belongs to what? It's a part of what? Super. It's a part of what? Okay, that you need to understand. So here, suppose if you have a problem with a radiator, the radiator is a part of the car. So car here, Tambi, a car is a part of the super system. Sorry, the radiator is a part of a car. So car here should be considered as a super system. Okay, right. Then subsystem. Then what are the subsystems? So now you can understand what I mean to say. Subsystem, each and every part can be considered as a subsystem. It may be brake or wheel or suspension system, something like that. All those things can be understood. Then elements. Then come to the problem which is there exactly. So the problem is with what is the radiator. So now radiator is a system. Then within the radiator you may have a different kind of components. So those are all the elements. Okay, let us come back to these things later. So first you should know what is super systems. Okay, then subsystem, then element. Okay, is it enough? No, you need to understand the link between each and everything. What is the relation between element and the system? What is the relation between system and the super system, subsystem and super system, and the functions? Because while finding the solution, you should know the relation. Without knowing the relations, it may not be able to, even if you know the TRIZ procedure is there, you try to follow the procedure proposed by the TRIZ, no problem, you can follow it. But at the same time, first you should have enough knowledge about your the problem. In the sense, the problem identification is one thing, but you need to understand the functioning of each and every single element of the system and the relation. If you say I have a problem with only radiator, so I should focus on only radiator. So if I'm a radiator specialist, and enough? No, it's not enough. The radiator should have a relation with the other the element should have a relation with the radiator. Radiator will have a relation with the other subsystem, and all put together will have a relation with the super system. The functionality of each and everything should be clearly understood. Then only it is possible to approach your problem with the help of TRIZ. That's what important. Okay, so first step in any while solving a problem, when you try to adopt a TRIZ procedure, first you need to divide the entire thing as per this one, which is super system, which is subsystem, what are the other subsystems and the elements. Then you have to establish the relation with each and every point, every part. Okay. So space, I'll come back to that. Space, time, parameters, all those things I will come to come later. Right now, suppose you want to go to a place, or maybe from your home to your institution, you want to move. Okay, just a normal scenario. Everybody knows that you want to go. What do you have to do? You have to travel. So when you travel, what are the things you are spending? You are spending time, you are spending energy, and these things everybody knows. When you ask what are the things, you are spending time and energy. Then also you are spending distance. That you need to understand. You have to understand this. You are spending distance also, because you are covering distance. Am I right? Okay, so you are covering distance. Suppose in ideal situation, one would like to save all those things. One like to save all. We don't want to cover distance. We don't want to spend time. We don't want to spend energy. This is what the ideal situation. So whenever you try to solve a problem whenever you try to solve a problem, or whenever you try to get a solution. Now is it visible? I think it is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. Let's see. This is where we stopped. So I come to this. So ideal solution, ideal situation you would like to have. Ideal situation, as I said, you should not spend time, you should not spend space. That means certain distance, and you should not spend energy. Okay, so this one has to keep in mind while approaching a problem. So the ideal situation has to be considered as a benchmark. Okay, so if you are able to get that situation, that is what the ultimate. That is what the ultimate. Okay, because this is very simple one. That is the ideal situation. That is ultimate. But it may not be possible to get the ideal situation, because when you want to travel, or when you want to reach your institution from home, anyway you have to spend something. But one thing we can avoid, especially with the help of now this pandemic situation has opened a new window without covering a distance. In fact, I'm also doing this one. Maybe I'm spending energy, no problem. I am spending time, but I'm not spending a distance. I'm not spending distance. It's okay. So at least as compared to the previous situation, now this is a better solution. Because anyway, the purpose is solved. Whatever I have to convey, now I can convey without covering the distance. Okay, but suppose if the same thing is possible even without spending time and energy, that would have been even more better. That would have been the ideal situation. Okay, so this is what the thing. Okay, so if you try to get an ideal situation, in fact that would be the right approach. So you have to keep that thing in mind as a benchmark. Then you can try to bring solution for that. Okay, right. Okay, this is, you keep in mind. Now let us go back to the parameter or the terminologies. We have understood all the other things. Now let us understand what is contradiction. Okay, there is a definition for that. A contradiction arises when two mutually exclusive demands or requirements are put on the same object. Okay, two demands mutually exclusive. Okay, but put on the same object. No, 2 minutes. Put on the same object. What does it mean? See, again, definition may give some understanding, but examples will be better to understand. Trade-off, the ideal situation I have already told you, but what is trade-off? It's now we have understood what is contradiction. Contradiction, two things mutually exclusive, but both are required. Anyway, we will come to that with the help of example. But if we are unable to satisfy both the requirements, then always what we do, we compromise. That's what called the trade-off. In fact, that's what we are doing it. But this will help you to have both the things, both the contradictions in the same place. That's what is important. That's what you have to understand. See, now we know what is ideal situation, ideality. That's the second one, ideality. Ideality, no time spending, no energy spending, no distance spending. Without that, but the purpose is solved. That is what the ideal solution. But it may not be possible. So you are compromising on something. It means you are trading off. But this will help you, even if there is a contradiction, you can contradiction, or you can understand like this. You would like to go to college, right? But at the same time, you don't want to go to the college. Can you understand? This is what contradiction. You mutually exclusive. Put on the same object. You have to go to college, but you don't want to go to college. At the same time, the purpose should be solved. Forget about the time and energy. That's a different thing. That comes to ideal solution. Okay. Now I'm talking about the contradiction. You want to go to college because you have to teach. At the same time, you don't want to college because you don't want to cover the distance. Very simple. What you can do? You can teach online. That is happening. That's happening now. We are experiencing. And the situation will be this situation can be now cleverly we can use it now. See, I think your organizers might have understood this. Whether it is any kind of such programs, getting people from outside, very difficult. Because see, it's not like that people don't want to do it. People are very much interested in doing that, but they may not get time because to travel. And you have to fix the what to deliver. For example, if I have to deliver a kind of a session for 1.5 hours or 2 hours, I need to spend the whole day at least, because I'm relatively nearer to that. But if some person comes from Delhi, it may not be possible. Okay. Or if you want to bring a person from abroad, how much you have to spend, and the person has to spend a lot of time. So now what does it do? It's very easy to get the person, because only the session duration, that only the time, that much time the person has to spend. Otherwise is usual. Okay, so that kind of solution now we have brought in. Okay, so this is what called that contradiction. In fact, so not directly by using this, but the situation has made like us, made like this. Okay. So in a contradiction, I gave this example to understand contradiction. Contradiction means you want to go to college because you have to teach, but at the same time you don't want to go to the college because you don't want to cover the distance. You don't want to travel. So what you have to do? You have to teach, but at the same time you should not be in the college. So online. That is a solution. So now it is done. Maybe by accident it has happened. Suppose if the same thing, if similar kind of problem arises in future, maybe in a different situation, you can take inspiration from this, because you can do the things without covering distance. We have proved now. The entire world has proved that without covering distance, things can be done. In fact, online, this is not the first time we have been experiencing. No, The online meetings and online interactions have been happening for so many years. Okay, but still, did we use that? No, we did not use. Just to think, before the pandemic, did we ever think about online interactions? No. We had someone maybe while attending a kind of interview with abroad universities. Maybe only few might have experienced that. They used to have a Skype meeting and all those things. But now each and everything is online. Okay. Now we have got a solution to avoid the distance covering. Okay, so now the same thing can be utilized, or same thing can be adopted in any other future problems wherever the distance covering is not required or not needed or not wanted. Okay, this is the thing. This is what called a contradiction. Okay, right. Now come to this example to understand the contradiction. Right. What is this? Egg produced, right? Now, suppose if you want to categorize the egg, in any way, just let us think arbitrarily, from that factory or the farm, poultry farm, the eggs are coming, maybe at a different size, maybe a different different colors. Different colors in the sense what? Maybe slightly different. The color or the size may determine the quality of the egg. That's okay, because in Western countries they have strict regulations on each and on especially the food products. Let it be. Now we have to categorize that. Categorize means maybe let us say three qualities: quality A, quality B, or quality C. Right now, let us assume if you want to save time or save energy to classify, to categorize three qualities, what could be the ideal situation? What could be the ideal solution for that? Can anybody think of it? Ideal solution for this? Very simple. The categories should be classified, or the eggs qualities have to be classified by the hen itself. It has to give three different qualities by our own. You need to have, maybe let us say, whenever you get the egg in the morning, you can say all of A quality. In the afternoon, you get B quality, C quality, like that. Okay, sideless, but it might not happen because you cannot work against nature, right? Just I'm thinking, if it happens something, if you are able to provide a solution, or if you are able to provide kind of arrangement to the hen, it may happen. It can give you different qualities, but that is not happening. So let us not talk about ideal. What should be the trade-off? Oh, you appoint a person, classify and put it in a different tray. Okay, that's what's happening. But that is not the correct solution. You cannot, and again you have to do some kind of a different process are involved. So here a simple solution to categorize is, anyway somebody has to pick and count. So while counting, he can have some stamp on the finger, or whatever the equipment, the gloves equipment he or she uses. That itself can have a kind of stamp, so that while picking, he or she knows which is of A quality, which is of B quality or C quality. So you can have that stamp directly. So two processes, because many processes are involved in that. I'm not talking about that. Just to give some kind of glimpse. While picking the egg or while counting itself, the worker can put the stamp which is of what quality, whether of A or B or C, something like that. That can be done. So this is one solution. Okay. Right. Ideality we have already seen. Okay, so this is one part. Now we already I spoke about the subsystem, super system, and the elements. Now, as I told you, while dividing those things into parts, we need to understand the relation between one and another. That is important. What is that? Some kind of understanding is required here. Then only the things can be understood easily. That's what we call the function analysis. So whenever you try to bring a solution to your problem, as I said, first you need to divide the entire thing as a super system, subsystems, and what do you say, element. Then the next step should be functional analysis. What is that? We'll see. Right. Just general examples I have given. We'll go to some technical parts also. See here. Here we are throwing a ball and it breaks the glass. In general terminology or in general language, how will you explain this? Simply you will say the ball breaks the glass. That's all. Or if you are a person who speaks a lot, they say the ball comes very fast and hits the glass of our house and the glass is broken. You may, but anyway, whatever it is a general language. You may use many sentences to explain the same simple story. That's a different thing, but it's a general language. But this is not the way to use while solving a problem. What you have to do, suppose if this is a system, how we have to explain. See here, functional language. You have to first divide the things. There is a ball, that is one object, one element. There is another object which is nothing but glass, and there is an interaction between these. What is that interaction? When the ball touches the glass, breaks. So there is an interaction. This is what called interaction. So ball remains same, but the glass will become will take a different form. So there will be a change in that mode. So that's what the glass will become pieces. So this is how you have to explain. If you are able to make this, explain in the sense what for yourself you have to make like this. Then problem solving is easy. Okay, problem solving. So here, what is done actually? It may look very simple. Same thing is one may think, what is that? What is so different in this? It's nothing. The same sentence is explained schematically by using a colorful figure. No, it's not like that. By using this, it means the person has got the ability to understand what are the objects involved, because it's very simple system. That's what you're saying. But when it goes to a real engineering system, you may have different elements, and you should be able to break into different elements, and you need to understand the relation between each and everything and the function of each and everything. That's what important. Okay, right? Here the glass doesn't have any function right now. Only ball has got a function. You have to understand. Ball is an object, glass is an object, but ball actually travels. This is what the function of the ball. It travels and hits the glass, so that the glass changes its shape or form. What's happening? So by using such a language, if you are able to explain the system, then that will help you to solve the problem. Or that is what required while following the TRIZ procedure. Okay, we'll see another example also. Here what is happening? Wire, electric wire, there is conduction of current. So you say the wire conducts electricity. So how a functional language can be established here? See here. Okay. What are the objects here? Again, there are only two objects: wire and charge. That's current. And wire takes the current from one place to another place. So there is a, what is that here function? The wire conducts and charge travels. Okay. Now come to this. It's slightly better. What is that? The cap seals the bottle. Here, how do you divide? there are three elements: bottle, cap, and liquid. Whatever may be the liquid. Let us say ink bottle. So ink. So here you have to establish the relation. Bottle. It controls the position, right? What position? The position of the liquid. Position of the liquid is controlled to be bottle, right? That's one. Then bottle also controls the position of the cap. Then cap also controls the position of the liquid. So this is how the function. Okay. So liquid is controlled by both bottle as well as cap. Cap is controlled by bottle. Okay. So this is how you have to establish the relation. Now, because the three elements are here, so you can now you must be having now a better understanding. We'll go one by one. Here again, this one. Here, by using a thermometer, we are measuring the temperature of a liquid. How will you, what functional diagram and functional language, how you have to see, what are the things here? You have the liquid. What is the liquid? The original one. Then you have the glass. Then you have the mercury. And you have the observer. Because otherwise, how will you take? Okay. So there are four objects. So now the liquid is controlled by glass. Okay. Then as a glass in the sense here, okay, that is not mentioned actually. The whole because that's not important in this part. Your liquid may be anywhere. Okay, maybe without container also you can have a liquid on the floor and you want to just measure the temperature. So we're not talking about that container, the beaker or whatever you say. Here the glass, which means the thermometer glass. So the liquid actually interacts with the glass so that heating or cooling can take place depending on the temperature difference between these two. That's okay. That's too technical, right? Then the glass actually holds the mercury. So that is a control. The glass controls the position of the mercury, you know, right? At the same time, the glass, depending on the temperature of the glass, which is a result of the temperature of the liquid, then the glass will control the temperature of the mercury. It may cool or heat or whatever it is. Then the mercury actually, what is that? It will change the position depending on that. Because depending on the temperature, it will change the position. Then the position of the mercury will give the information about the temperature to the observer. Okay. So this is what the relation. In fact, observer and liquid doesn't have any relation. Observer doesn't have any relation with the liquid. But other relations are the liquid will have a relation with the glass, and the glass will have a liquid with the mercury, and the mercury will have glass with a relation with the observer. So this is how you have to make the functional. And then the toothbrush brushes the teeth. What are the things? You have user as an object, handle, toothbrush handle, toothbrush bristle, teeth, take our food particles. Whatever the unwanted material there and that. What happened? User controls the handle position. Handle controls the position of the bristle. Right, but teeth also controls the bristle position, because depending on the shape and all those things, the teeth will control the position of the brittle. Okay, that is what will guide. You cannot control the position of the bristle. You cannot. You can control the position of the handle only, or the base, whatever it is. Handle or base are same. Okay, because it's a single object. Then bristle will control the position of the food particles. Depending on the movement, it will change. But at the same time, teeth also controls the position of the food particles. Okay, so this is how you have to just. So I'm giving a variety of examples so that you can understand how to make a functional diagram, so that a proper functional function of each and every object and relation between each and every object can be explained. So this is how you have to explain. This is how you have to make the functional diagram. So almost all the examples of like that. Okay. Right. So the last one here, the functional diagram is not made, but you can have an exercise like this. So take pen. First, I have just divided into elements. So pen is the super system. Then you are making into subsystem. Okay, here subsystem may not have meaning. It's because this pen is a single system. So it itself is a super system as well as subsystem. So you can have only elements within the pen. So what is that? You have barrel, you have the cap, you have the converter, and you have the section, and you have the feed, and you have the nip. So these are all the different elements. Now you can have the functional diagram and function of each and every part and relation between one part and another part. In fact, ink is missing here. So that also should be kept up. Okay. Right? Okay. So have you understood now? So see, anyway, I was told that exactly the principles of treason, all those things will be covered in the subsequent sessions by Dr. Saravanan. So right now I'm just giving the basics and the essence. I'm introducing, so that all the related things, terminologies, and the preliminary things which are required to understand the trace, I'm explaining. Okay, right. Okay, now let us come to the major part of this contradiction. I have already talked about contradiction. Now we'll go in deep. Right. As far as a contradiction, two mutually exclusive things which are demands, excluded demands or requirements which are put on the same object. Okay, that means we want both, but they are mutually exclusive. Okay, as I said, I want to go to college. I don't want to go to college. This is what the two different demands, but exclusive, contradicting with each other. Okay, right. This is something like this. I want. What do you say? Okay, anyway, we will come to that examples, right? You can understand instead of making some arbitrary example, right? So, as far as the contradiction is concerned, in fact, there are two varieties. One is the physical, another is the technical. Okay, right. First, let us understand what is physical contradiction. So, if for any problem, there must be a contradiction. That's why you are trying for the solution. Otherwise, if the contradiction is not there, that is important. Once the problem is identified, you need to identify what is the contradiction. What the mutually exclusive demands are there. Otherwise, there is no problem. In fact, for any problem, you can get the mutually exclusive demands. Okay. So, after a problem identification, you should be able to identify what contradiction is existing, or what contradiction is prevailing. So, as far as the contradiction is concerned, there are two. One is physical, other one is a technical. Let us understand first the physical, because our focus is physical. Technical, let me tell you at the end what is physical. Okay, what is this? This is nothing but it's a unmanned aerial vehicle. Okay, which is normally used maybe for some kind of defense related investigations. Okay, maybe it will unmanned vehicle. Why? Because it will fly over a region where we predict the enemies, so that they can capture capture what is happening there with the help of some kind of photographs or videos, something like that. Okay, for that purpose only. So, and in order to protect our soldiers from any kind of attack, and it's automated, so no people will be there. Okay, right. Here, what is the demand? A mutually exclusive demand. Very simple. This kind of unmanned aerial vehicle should fly very fast. Why? That's one requirement. It should fly very fast. Why? Because then only it can escape from the enemy's attack. Suppose enemies, in case it is identified by the enemies, they may attack. So in order to escape, it has to fly faster. But it should not fly fast. What is that? Why? Because if it flies fast, it cannot capture. The camera cannot work properly. Okay, have you understood? So two requirements are there, but mutually exclusive. We demand it should fly fast for one reason. At the same time, we say it should not fly fast for a different reason. How to have both? This is what called physical contradiction. It means same thing, not two different things. Same thing. It's not. We are not saying it has to fly fast and it has to be less weight. We are not saying like that. If you say then that is called a technical contradiction. Fly fast, should fly fast. At the same time, it should be of lightweight. Again, it's a contradiction, but are what do you say? Not same. So that can be brought under technical contradiction. But this is physical. Physical contradiction, same demand. For some reason we want, for some reason we don't want, something like that. Okay. Again, this example. This is a chain and brackets. What here we are explaining? What we are expecting as far as the chain is concerned? Very simple. We are saying the chain should be very strong. Correct? Because our demand is correct, justified, because then only it can be maintained, or it has long durability, right? And from technical point of view, there won't be any energy loss or something like that. Okay. At the same time, it should be flexible. It should not be stuck or so. So we want flexibility as well as we want. So again, physical, same thing. Okay. This one. Then people, those who are passionate about gym or bodybuilding, they know what is this for making your arms strong. They use this one. Okay. Normally, what we want, this has to be whatever may be the weight, it has to be like that. If you want 7 kg, it has to be 7 kg. But at the same time, if it's too heavy, it's very difficult to carry during the travel. So while using, it has to be heavier. At the same time, while carrying, it has to be lighter. Same demand, two different requirements. Okay. This one. Here is a kind of what you say for parking the cycles. What we do it, what we expect here, it has to cover, it has to carry more cycles. At the same time, it should not be too heavy or something like that. Okay. So demands, see, the way we look at it's another example, correct? So I think it may what do you say, convey some different message, but overall thing is what, same demand, or you can look at it in a different way also. Maybe for a technical contradiction also you can use it. Okay, but whatever it is, by looking at the other examples, so one can easily say, if some same thing is expected or demanded at one place in one way, at another place in a different way, opposite way in fact, then you can say the physical contradiction. Okay. This again, what you can say, the chair, it has to be broad. Okay, because then only it has to look very big so that you can have people who can comfortably use it. If it is, but if it is small, you cannot use it. But at the same time, if you want to carry it, it has to be as small as possible. It has to be big as well as it has to be small. For one purpose, you want one demand. We have one demand. For other purpose, we have different demand. So overall, what you can say, this is what called physical contradiction. Technical, it may be different thing. See, look at the cycle, the electric cycle. What you can demand here? It's an electric cycle, electric scooter, whatever you say, or you can say electric cycle. It has to travel for long distance. At the same time, the battery should be lighter, smaller, whatever it is. So it is a contradiction, because when you say battery is smaller or lighter, it cannot cover more distance because it's a smaller battery. Okay, so this is a physical contradiction, sorry, technical contradiction. So different things, different expectations, different demands. The same thing is applicable to this one. Tanker, what is that? Tanker lorry. It has to cover more distance, but at the same time, it has to be lighter. Okay, it cannot be like that. It's related to productivity. if you can say it has to the industry or whatever may be the layout, industry layout, you have to have a layout so that more productivity will be there. At the same time, the shop floor should look very clean. Is it okay? Is it possible? Because when you say productivity is possible, it's a contradiction. I'm not saying it's not possible, but contradiction. If you want to have more productivity and continuously working, and your shop floor may not look very clean, it may be dirty. Okay, so we are demanding two different things here. So technical contradiction. This is a fuse. Again, it has to conduct more. See, the fuse is used when there is a kind of malpractice or a malfunctioning. Then it has to break so that the main component, any electric component, will not get affected. Okay, so for that purpose we use. So normally we try to use very thin one, but at the same time it has to last long if you demand. Because if you say it has to last long, it means you may put a very thick wire. So if a thick one, if it is put, it may not serve the purpose. So two different things. That's what technical. So again, rocket, you can say it should be lighter. At the same time, it should travel long distance. Okay, lighter. You cannot have lighter because if you want to travel for long distance, you have to have a large volume fuel tank or whatever it is. So large volume fuel tank means it cannot be lighter. So two different what do you say, contradicting things. Okay, right. I will give even examples. Actual this one. Here, what is contradiction? Physical contradiction. Technical contradiction is different, but we are talking about the physical contradiction. See, this example problem is explained. Let me tell you. Actually, this is for polishing the glass plate, edge polishing glass plate, and it's a conveyor. So normally, what they do, they move the glass plate over it, and then it will polish it. It happens, and this particular system is designed for a particular thickness of glass. But all of a sudden, there is a requirement. They from outside, there is a customer comes with thin glass to polish it. But if they try to use the same one, the glass breaks. It's not working properly. Okay. So now, what is the problem? Now you know the problem. Now this is problem. Problem is given here. Now how to write the contradiction here? What contradiction is there? Very simple. The plate thickness needs to be thin and thick. Because why the plate thickness is thick? Then only it cannot work. But it comes with the thin only. Okay. But if thin plate comes, then it breaks. So you want to have thin plate because that is what the demand. That's what the customer takes. Okay. But at the same time, for proper polishing, you want thick plate. Okay. So this is what contradiction. Okay. So see, for this normal problem, you can write the contradiction like this. So see, finally, what is the demand you have to see? You want thin as well as you want thick, both. If you say like that, it means you are properly telling what is the contradiction. You can further understand. We use radiation for the tumor treatment, right? Treatment of the tumors, use radiation. Okay, and whenever you use high frequency radiation, high intensity radiation, the tumor will be cured, but it may have some kind of side effect also. So nearby, the good one also will get affected. Okay, so what is here? This is the problem. So what is the contradiction here? You want the radiation is high as well as you want radiation is low. And then why you want radiation is high? So that tumor can be properly cured. If you put the low intensity radiation, what may happen? Tumor may not get treated. Okay, because you have to remove the tumor. right? So, but if high intensity radiation, it may affect the other parts also, the nearby tissue or whatever it is. Okay, so what is the contradiction here? The radiation intensity should be low, as well as radiation intensities should be high for two different purposes. So this is what physical contradiction. You can go on giving the example. Okay, anything you can. This one, what do you say? In the diving, the swimming pool, in professional swimming pools, they keep bubbles on the top of the surface, so that, well, if you from very higher level, if they dive, because they practice it, well, dive, they may not get, because while practicing, you cannot say they are how completely skilled. So in the beginning, they may jump from the height, so they may get some kind of injury. That happens, you know, people, if you have already have swimming experience, even from low height, if you dive, or because the dive means what? It's not normal diving. They use a different kind of position, a different kind of styles, and all those things. So if the top surface is normal, they may get damaged, they may get injured. So to avoid that injury, normally what they do, they keep bubbles on the top. Maybe by using some kind of chemicals, they have bubbles. So when they dive, the bubble. But when bubbles is there while diving, they may not have injury. But once they have gone inside, and the bubbles, once you use the bubble on the top surface, the surface tension may be different. You know the physics. Surface tension may get altered. So it will be very difficult. It's like a thing. Even if you assume that there are so bubbles on the top surface, from now you cannot come out of the bubble. You cannot swim on the surface because bubbles are there. So what do you have to do here? What are the expectations here? What are the demands? Bubbles has to be there. Bubble should not be there. Something like that. Okay, bubble should be absent, as well as bubble should exist. Both are so mutually contradictory. Like that, you can have any example. Even mobile phone. Mobile phone, if you want lighter, at the same time you want, because lighter means they use plastic, but plastic will have kind of that electromagnetic interference will be there, so it may not work properly. Plastic phones, okay, maybe old plastic. Now they have improved technology. That is a different issue. So in that case, what will happen? You want lightweight plastic. At the same time, you don't want plastic. Both the demands are there. So like that, you can have many examples. So I think I don't want to go on talking the same again and again. Okay. So let us keep all those things. So I think have you understood? Hope, right? So physical contradiction, you must have understood. Same thing is demanded at two different times for the same system. It should be light. It should be heavy. It should travel fast. It should travel slow. Maybe for different purposes, but contradiction. Same system has to yield both. That's what we are expecting. Okay. So this is how a problem has to be written by understanding the contradictions. Okay. Right. Then how to solve. So now let us come to the main topic, main part. What is nothing but the procedure. In fact, still we are not talking about the TRIS. TRIS is slightly advanced, okay? But this is a part of TRIS, no doubt about it, right? So, in technical contradiction again, in fact, so now let us understand a little bit better. So, we have understood what is physical contradiction, we have understood what is technical contradiction, right? If a problem is identified as having physical contradiction, then it is easier to solve, relatively easier to solve. But if a problem is identified as having technical contradiction, then you need to have a slightly different process. That is what, for that, TRIS has given 40 principles. Again, you have the guidelines for that, 40 principles. So that's what will be covered maybe in the subsequent sessions by Dr. Saravanan. Okay, so you can have a better understanding after that. But if you are able to identify for a particular, because a problem can come under either under physical contradiction or under technical. So now it is as a problem solver, it is your job to identify whether physical contradiction is there or technical contradiction is there. Okay, you know now how to identify physical contradiction, how to write a physical contradiction for a particular problem. Now you know. I have given some examples. Now, if it comes under physical contradiction, how to solve? What is the procedure? What are the guidelines? That's what we need to understand. That's what it is. Same thing is applicable to technical contradiction, but different set of principles. Okay, right. So here for physical contradiction only there are 4 techniques. Okay, so what you have to do, first you need to, you know what is the, that's what the contradiction you are saying, that you know what is the, what are the constraints. So now the constraint can be handled either by separating by parts, or using time, or using space, or using condition. We'll see one by one using some examples. Okay. Time. Okay. Now, you know this one, everybody knows this. It's a junction. Okay. Cars are moving here and there across. Here, what is the contradiction? What is the problem, in fact? Problem in the sense, you cannot have all the cars going together from all directions. That's what the problem. You cannot have. So how do you write the contradiction here? You can say the car from left to right should go. At the same time should not go. Both are there. That means at some time it has to go, at some time it should not go. Car from one side to another side, maybe from left side to another left side. Same thing is applicable to this. Okay. From north to south, or west to east, whatever it is. Have you understand? But maybe different things are there. From north to south, south to north, west to east, east to west. All permutation combinations are there. Okay. So you want that car goes from one side to another side. At the same time, you want that car should not go from one side to another side. Okay. So now you have identified what is a physical contradiction. At one time you want you have one demand. At another time you have a different demand. Okay. So how to solve this? Very simple. You can separate the constraint, or you can handle the constraint at different times differently. So that is what we are having signal. Signal is actually solution followed by this method. The solution which followed this method. Okay. So what you can do, you can put signal maybe for 30 seconds. From one side or any side you take from north to south, that car can be allowed. Maybe for 30 seconds. Then after 30 seconds, you stop that car. So at 2 different times, both the things are achieved. A car can go, a car cannot go. Both the things are achieved. Okay. So wherever possible, if you are able to handle the constraints at 2 different times differently, it means you are solving the physical contradiction by using the time. Okay, this is one way. I'm not saying everywhere this is possible, wherever it's possible. So first what you can do, you can try with the time whether it is possible or not. Within quickly you can identify whether it is possible or not. If not possible, then go to the next. Next is what? Space. The same. What you can do, you can have different roads at different positions and everything. So you are separating by the same thing. You are achieving at 2 different locations. Space. Okay. So this is the second way of doing it. So once it is possible to go with time, you can. If not possible, then you can go with the space. In fact, the same problem here. It's not a different problem, same problem. Cars can go at some time, car cannot go at some time. So both the things are achieved by having two different levels of roads, multiple levels of bridges. So here there is no constraint. All constraints are solved. Okay, but here we are separating the constraint by space, not by time. That's one thing. Right? Second thing. And the third, again for space, it's example, right? What is that? Here it's a kind of epoxy gel, but it's not a single material. So, it's a mixture. But the mixture is actually what the having that adhesive nature. Okay, so what they do, they actually do not supply in the form of mixture directly, right? So as long as it is not used, it has to it should not have that adhesive nature. Otherwise what will happen, it will be very difficult to take out and use it. So the moment you mix it, then it will become adhesive so that you can use it. So that's why what is this? So what is the physical contradiction here? It has to have adhesive nature. At the same time, it should not have the adhesive nature characteristic. Have you understood? Whenever you use it, it should have that adhesive nature. Whenever you don't use it, it should not have that characteristic. So how to solve this one? So you have understood, now you have identified the physical contradiction. Now how to solve it? Very simple. Instead of giving the mixture, you have two different chemicals in a different tube. Okay, so as long as they are in that individual tubes, space, you are dividing it. Okay, as long as they are in the individual tubes, you won't get that adhesive property. So even if you take out one, nothing will happen. It won't not have that nature. But the moment you break and then mix both, it will become adhesive and you can use it. So you are solved. So this is again separating by space, example for the separating by space. Okay, then condition. Condition again, what do you say? The signal example. Based on the condition, you can allow or you can stop. Maybe by using a different colors, different lights. You can allow car, you can allow people, or you can allow heavy vehicles, something like that. So as a similar example. So here you can you have a problem. You cannot allow all the things at a time. So what you can do, that can be done with the help of time, that can be done with the help of space, we have seen. Now with the help of condition. Okay, so you put condition for that. If this is the case, this category can go. If this is the case, the next category can go. So you are now making conditions to satisfy both the constraints, both the contradiction. Okay, so very simple. Either by using time or either by using space, or you can have the other example also, separating by parts. So either by using time, space and condition, you can solve the constraint, or you can fulfill both the contradiction, fulfill both the demands, both the everything. See, if say the bus should not go, the bus should go, contradiction. So what you can have, you can use time to stop bus for some time. You can use by using the same time, you can allow the bus to go, or you can have the space can this one. You can have the different locations, so bus can come continuously go, because you don't have any problem in that if that is the case. Similarly, by using conditions, by using different signals. Now, what is separating by parts? The chain example is, or this another example. This bulletproof glass. For what purpose they use? Whenever there is a bullet, whenever it hits, then the glass breaks. Okay, so it will protect the people staying inside. Maybe anything, for maybe in the army vehicles, any type of vehicle, maybe flight or whatever it is. the use of bulletproof, even for the cars used for VIPs, our leaders, they have the bulletproof glass. When here the bullet hits at any velocity, it just simply breaks. Okay, right. But the glass breaks, there is no protection for further. Okay, so what you have to have here, you can have so what it has to protect, or it has to break. At the same time, it should not break, because if it does not break, what will happen? Impact will be inner. So we want both the demands. We want the glass should break. At the same time, we want the glass should not break. Physical contradiction. So what we can have, we can make the glass individual, so separating by parts. So wherever the bullet gets, only that portion will get broken. Then the glass, the most of the remaining part. So that will give a lot of protection. Okay, clear enough? Because if it completely breaks, then there is no protection, there is no safety, no security. Okay, so this is how we have to do it, separating by parts. This principle can be used here. Okay, so wherever it is possible, make it. The same thing can be understood from this example. Here, the chain, as we said, it should be strong. At the same time, it should not be strong, because if it is very strong or stiff, like that, it has to be stiff, it has to be flexible. Both are mutually exclusive demand, physical contradiction. If it has to be stiff, it has to be flexible. How it is possible? If you make it strong, it cannot be flexible. So we are using such arrangement, separating by parts. Instead of making a single one, we are making into small segment, links. So when you make like that, it serves both the things. It remains strong as well as it remains flexible, separating the parts. Okay, have you understood up to this? Right? So the physical contradiction, whenever you are able to identify the physical contradiction, then there are only 4 ways to solve. That's all the guideline. So you can immediately get idea. If you are able to, the only thing is the contradiction should be properly identified. Whether it first you have to identify whether it is it comes under physical contradiction or technical contradiction. Once you are sure it is under physical contradiction, then definitely by either one of the ways, either by either of these 4 ways, either by time or by space or condition or by parts, separating by parts, you can easily bring the solution. So it's what you can say here. Suppose, let us say it by separating by time you can solve. Just think, that's all. Think means separating by time. What is the example? Where is the inspiration? You can bring the inspiration easily, because now it's limited. Separating by time, for example, bring the signal example, so that it may not be same to your problem, but at least you know what is the in what line you can think. What line you can think. That's important. It tells you in what line you have to think. So just to go by first time. Suppose maybe after some time, sometime means what? Maybe you may think that it may not be possible. Then try with space. Then you try with condition. Then try with it. Definitely, in under one category, you will get the solution. This is how it's happening. This is how solutions are obtained. Okay. So these all those things are possible if you are able to identify the physical contradiction. Suppose it comes under technical contradiction, that is where the 40 TRIZ principles are applicable. Okay. Anyway, those things will be covered by Dr. Saravanan, as I mentioned. Right. So now you can understand whatever it is. Same, almost a similar thing. The principles. Here I have given 4 principles when it comes to physical contradiction. For technical contradiction, suppose if you say it has to be lightweight, at the same time it has to go faster. These are the 2 contradictions, two mutually exclusive. This is what technical contradiction. In that case, you cannot try with this. You have to try with any one of the 40 principles. Only 40 principles. Definitely out of one, you will get solution. So definitely the TRIZ will help you to speed up your thinking. Okay. So with this, I'm done. So my session is over. Now it's over to you. If you have any queries, please feel free to ask. What kind of arrangement the organizers have? No problem. I don't have any issue.
Thank you, sir. Now the session is open to questions. Participants may ask questions relevant to TRIS.
But before that, I hope that I could share some information, and I hope that the informations are useful. Okay.
Yes, sir. So participants, is there any questions?
So it shows that everybody is clear about what was
Yes,
conveyed. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir. We shall wind up the session, sir.
Okay,
So the session, it was really interesting, sir, and you had shown the many examples with respect to the components of TRIS and how that can be used for reducing the time in the new product design and development. So surely it will help the innovators to reduce their time. So with this, we wish to thank you for spending your valuable time and sharing your knowledge with respect to TRIS and coming for this session, sir. Thank you once again. And also I thank the participants for your effective participation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you once again, everybody, and more importantly, the participants, those who have received very well. And as I mentioned already, the continuation of this will be covered by Dr. Saravanan, and that will give you more clarity, so that you can start practicing TRIS. Even it's not necessary that it has to be, or it is applicable only to industry. Even for our small problems in terms of the projects what our students are carrying out, it will be really helpful to find a solution if you are able to apply TRIS. Okay. Thank you very much. In fact, that we have experienced, and it's really because when it comes to students project and there are a lot of time constraints, you need to finish it in the stipulated time. So you cannot have the random thinking and things, such things. So you have to take inspiration from others. So if you are able to follow the test procedure, then that will be very easier. So you can, in fact, you can attract the students if you are able to bring a solution by using a test procedure. Okay, the students will get more attracted towards that. In fact, that is what our duty. Okay. I hope
Yes, sir.
that
Sure, sir.
all you can use it in a positive way. So thank you very much. Hope we'll meet you. I will meet you soon, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Sure. Thanks for your guidance, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. So with this, we'll wind up the day 3 sessions, and the details and the links relevant to day 4 will be shared in the WhatsApp group. So thank you all.